Hi there, everyone. This is FX Coach, your mentor, and I'd love to welcome you guys to the FX Coach YouTube channel. First of all, guys, I would love to wish you a new happy new year, new beginnings, new goals. Let's go in harder than before this year, guys. So, first things first, guys, I've got the greatest news ever for you. The way this YouTube channel was created out on the previous years will be way much different from how it will be created out this year. So what are those great news? First things first, guys. This year you will be having the what? You'll be having your weekly analysis, and you'll be also having the what? You'll be also having the YouTube lives, and you'll be also having the what? Your videos from other mentors like Litabo and Tobega. And lastly, you'll be having the what? The Expect Mentors YouTube lives, which is the Almighty Jaguar, and lastly the Gold Intro. So on the first part, which is the weekly market analysis, you'll be having me, myself, Mtobisa the GOAT, and we'll be also having Javi the GOAT on Hobote and Taylor the GOAT, and lastly you'll be seeing Prince the GOAT in this chapter. So guys, I hope you all can see how FX GOAT is planning to change or rather impact people's lives this year. So basically in a week you'll be having, for instance this week we'll be having a video from me, which is the analysis that I'll be giving you guys right now, and we'll be also having a YouTube live from the other twins, which is Tabang and Tabliso, and we'll be also having a video from either Tobega and Litabo, and lastly we'll be having another YouTube live from the Expect Mentors. So by this you can tell how FX Gold is planning to impact as many lives as we can. So basically guys, in today's video I'll be looking at three pairs. Firstly, I'll start by analyzing the DXY, which is the dollar index for you. So we're going to look at the dollar technical wise in this case. In this case, we're not going to mix the technicals and the fundamental wise, right? So basically in today's DXY, I'll try by all means to stick to the technical part. We're gonna dive in deep maybe in the next videos on the fundamental side of the DXY, which is the dollar index. So basically we're gonna look at the DXY, and we're gonna look at Usdjpy, and we're gonna close off our week with the Gbp USD. So guys, this is our DXY on a monthly time frame. The reason why I'm starting my analysis on a monthly time frame is because the rule says that you must try by all means to trade with the trend. So what does it mean to trade with the trend? Basically, trading with the trend, it means that you must start firstly by looking at the overall direction of whatever trading instrument that you are looking at. In this case, we are looking at the dollar index. So the dollar index on a monthly time frame, we can possibly say that the dollar is still in an overall bullish market. Why? It's because the market is always making a series of higher highs and higher lows, series of higher highs and higher lows. Hence the term bullish market, because we are making a series of higher highs and higher lows. But there's something that we must pay very close attention to. If we pay very close attention on the DXY, we can see that the DXY is basically following the basic rules of the forex. Which are those? Let's say for instance we're having the price action that is printing something in nature of this. Let's say the market is pushing to the upper side, and this is acting as a resistance. A push to the downside, the market over here is acting as a support. A push to the upper side, we are resisting, and here we are supporting. Meaning that this is acting as this is basically nothing but a resistance, right? This is nothing but a resistance, and this is acting as it's basically nothing but a support, right? Because each and every time the market hits this zone over here, the market pushes to the what? To the upper side. So immediately after the market breaking this resistance over here, it must what? It must come back for what? For a test, and now turning it into a what? Into a what? Into a support now. So the very same resistance is no longer a resistance, but a what now? But a support. Why? It's because now it is acting as a support. Each and every time the market reaches this level, prices are being pushed to the upper side. Hence, it's a what now? It's a support, right? It's no longer a resistance, but it's a what? It's a support now. So guys, this is the very first concept that we need to understand before applying any technical tool or rather any technical rule that is there. That is the first and the most basic thing that we need to understand, that the very same resistance that has been resisting prices over here, it can be broken and turned into a what now? And turned into a support, which is basically nothing. It's what we are having on the what? On the current market, on the what? On the DXY chart. So if we go back into our DXY chart, we can possibly see that now we are what? We are approaching this level over here. One may say, why are you putting your zone over here and not here? The reason why I'm putting my zone at that place is because this one is basically nothing but giving me what? But giving me these two touches. But if I put my zone over here, it caters for what? It caters for most touches, as this will be acting as what? As my first touch, right? And this will be my second touch, and this will be my third, and this will be my another touch, right? So this one has the most what? Significant what? Touches on it. Hence why I've put my zone over here. So, and if you read through the price action and listening or rather paying close attention to what the price action is telling you, you can possibly see that the market has been ranging between this zone over here, and it was acting as a resistance over here, and we came back here as a support, and we finally gained momentum to further push and breaking these highs over here. So immediately after breaking these highs, we must come back for what? For a test. And now we've turned this resistance over here, and now we've turned it into what? Into a support. Now we're doing what? We are supporting, and we came back for another test, and we finally gained more momentum to further push to the upper side. But after pushing to the upper side, did we came back for a proper retest? No. So basically the market is doing nothing but what? But in a process of giving what? Giving us a test, making this resistance over here a now a newly formed support before pushing to the what? To the further upper side. We are still in a what? In an overall bullish market. So basically guys, this is still a what? A outer view of the what? Of the dollar index. Why must we look at the outer view of anything that we are looking to trade? It is very much important to look at the outer view so that you will what? You will trade with the trend. So basically now it's time we do what? We dive in deep into the what? Into the charts and look for what? For possible entries. We are now looking for possible entries at the back of our heads. We still know that the market is still in what? In a bullish market, but we must be very careful. Hence why now we must dive in deep into what? Into smaller time frame to look for what? For possible entries. So now let me remove everything, and now I'm gonna dive in deeper into a what? Into a smaller time frame. But I've bear in my mind that this is a very important zone that we need to what? That we need to cater, because this is where the price might what? Might reach before looking for what? Before looking for further pushes to the upper side. So now let's dive in deep into DXY and look for what? And look for possible increase. Now this is a what? This is a daily chart. If I pay close attention to the what? To what the price action is telling me, I can possibly see that this is a what? This is nothing but a descending channel, right? We are still in a what? In an overall bearish market. we are still in an overall bearish market, right? This is the low that the market gave us last week. So now let me go to a 2-hourly chart for possible entries. So this is what I'm having on the DXY. This is the high and this is the low, right? And by going back to this low, I can possibly see that this low over here was given rise by what? By that high over there, right? So now I'm gonna mark off this high because it is a very, very important high that we need to cater for in the market, right? So by looking at what the price action is telling us right now, I can see that we are still in an overall bearish market, right? Let me try and put a trend over here, see what possible trading opportunities I can come up with. So by putting this trend line over here, I can see something beautiful over here. Let me put this trend line over here, and I'm going to put this one over here, right? Let me try and clone this one. If I clone this one, so now by looking at what the price action is telling me right now, I can see that we are still in an overall bearish market, right? But however, the market is trying to print something out here for me. The market is trying to print a possible bullish trading opportunities. But where those bullish trading opportunities will be valid? The only time whereby I'll start looking for possible small buys is a cross above this high over here, because by the market crossing above this high over here, it will be breaking the overall structure of this small bearish market, not the overall bearish market, right? We haven't broken yet, and we are still not showing even signs of breaking the overall bearish market that we are having. Why? It's because the market is still in an overall bearish market to give us a test on which level? On this level. Trust me, the market is doing nothing but preparing for what? But preparing or rather gaining momentum to further complete this sell setup here. The sell setup over here is very, very much important because the market is doing nothing but trying to make this resistance that we had over here and turning it into a support. So whatever buying opportunities that we are seeing right now, they are nothing but a small retracement or or scalping buys. I hope we are clear on that one. I hope we are very, very clear on that one. So given that the market does something like this, we're gonna expect those buys up until that far. These are not yet the overall buys on the DXY, because we haven't turned this resistance over here, which is this zone, into a support. So those strong buys on the dollar are not yet ready. So this is my DXY for this week. Let me go to the next pair, which is the Usdjpy. So guys, this is my Usdjpy. So on Usdjpy, guys, again, I'm going to start my analysis on a monthly time frame. The reason why I'm starting on a monthly time frame is because it's a new year, it's a new month. So it is very, very much important for us to look at the monthly candlesticks, so that you can see what the monthly candlesticks are telling us. So on a monthly time frame, I can possibly see that the market has been in an overall bullish market. Usdjpy was still in an overall bullish market. Again, the concept here is also the same as the one that we've discussed on the dollar index. Each and every time the market break something. In this case, we are resisting and we are supporting, we are resisting and we are supporting, and we finally broke the what? The support now. If we've broken the support, we need to come back to change that support into a what now? Into a resistance before continuing to the what? To the downside. So this is basically what is happening on the what? On the Usdjpy. Again, on Usdjpy, we were acting as a what here? As a resistance. We resisted again over here up until we finally broke. But after breaking this resistance and turning it into a support, we never had a what? A significant test, right? Or rather a solid evidence that now this resistance is turned into a what now? Into a support. So basically the market is trying to what? To do something in nature of that. The market might be trying to what? To turn this resistance now into a what? Into a support before looking for what? Before looking for further pushes to the upper side. This is just a what? A outer view of the what? Of the Usdjpy. We're still gonna dive in deep and look for what? And look for possible entries. But even on an outer view, you can possibly see that this market is what? Is now preparing for what? Preparing for those major pushes to the upper side, because we are basically doing what? We are turning a resistance into what? Into a support. So in this case, we are looking for what? We're looking for buying opportunities and making our stop loss as tight as possible. So now let's dive in deep into the charts and see what the market has for us in store. Let us mark this zone, because it is a very, very much important zone that we need to cater for. Let us go into a daily chart and look for what? And look for possible entries. So by looking at the daily chart, I'm gonna mark off this as my high of that particular trading session. Right. So this is my daily chart, and on my daily chart, I can clearly see that we are still in a what? In an overall what? Bearish market. We are still in an overall bearish market, right? The only time whereby this overall bearish market will be completed, right? I don't know if I should use the word completed or what, or let me try and put it like this. In this bearish market, the only possible trading opportunities, if you are a what? If you are a reversal trader. If you're a reversal trader, you're looking for what? You're looking for buying opportunities in what? In an overall bearish market. Why? It's because you will look for what? You look for confirmations that will give you what? That will give you a buying opportunity. So in this case, you will be looking for what? You'll be looking for buying opportunities. And where will your buying opportunities will be valid? The only time whereby your buying opportunities will be valid is a breakage of the structure over here. What do I mean by a breakage of structure? If we cross above this lower high over here, this lower high over here is a very, very much important lower high, or rather a point to mark in the market, because it represents what? A breakage of the overall bearish market structure. So the only time whereby your overall buys will be valid is the market crossing above this lower high over here and turning it into a what? Into a newly formed higher low. Because if the market comes back over here, we'll be having what? A higher low in this case, right? I hope you are still with me on that one. So in an overall market picture, we're still in what? In an overall bearish market. So now let's dive in deep to look for what? To look for possible entries. Let me remove all of this, and then we remove also this. And you can tell how closely we are into the what? Into this final target price before looking for what? Before looking for overall buying opportunities. Before looking for what? Before looking for buying opportunities. And trust me, by looking at the Forex Factory, I can clearly, or rather, I can possibly guess that these buys, or rather these long-term buys on Usdjpy, we might expect them this week. The reason why I'm saying that we might expect them this week or maybe the following week is because on Forex Faction this week we are having a major news release on the USD. And by looking at the forecast and the previous values of what we might expect on the dollar, you can see that we still expect the dollar to be bearish, meaning that we might expect those final pushes to the downside. Those final pushes to the downside will be energized by these negative forecasts that we are having on the Forex Faction. So this is the outer view of the Usdjpy. So now let's dive in deep to look for possible entries. Let's go into a smaller time frame to look for possible entries, right? But let me just go to a 45 minutes chart. If I go into a 45 minutes chart, I can see that the market is still in an overall bearish market, right? I want to mark this lower high over here because it is a quite important lower high, because above or below it, that is where our trading decision will come. But the fact that we're still trading below this lower high, it means that we're still we're still sellers of this market, right? The only time the buyers will be valid is a cross above this and a retest. That is the only time whereby we'll be looking for buying opportunities on our Usdjpy and making our stop loss very tight. But overall, if we look at the overall picture of the Usdjpy, we are still in a bearish market. This is just an overview of the Usdjpy. We are still in an overall bearish market. Let me try and mark these highs over here, or rather this trend, and let me clone this one. The reason why I'm cloning it is because I wanna increase the accuracy of my charts. So you can clearly see that even those buys that you are anticipating, they are just small buys. As a matter of fact, they are just a correction, because this is where we will enter more sales on Usdjpy in completion of this overall market setup that we are anticipating. So this is Usdjpy for you. Let me go to the last pair of the day, which is the Euro USD. I'm very sorry guys, the last pair that I'll be looking at is the Gbpusd, not the Euro USD. So again, the same rule we always follow. We start our analysis on a bigger time frame to look at the overall structure and see what the overall structure is telling me. So this is my Gbpusd, right? So this is my Gbpusd. Already I can see that this is a sell. This is a sell. But however, let's not take trading decisions or rather entries on a bigger time frame. We need to take our entries on a smaller time frame. But by just looking at the outer structure of the Gbpusd, you can clearly tell this is a sell, right? So now let's dive in deep into our charts and see what the market is telling us on much smaller time frame. So on a smaller time frame, or rather on this overall chart, the market is telling us quite cool things, right? If you look closely, you can see that this is nothing but a double bottom. We might be looking for another buying opportunities, because this is a W. So we need to pay a close attention to what the price action is telling us, right? So now let's dive in deep into the charts and see what trading opportunities we might get. And now we're going to focus on this part of the market. We're going to use this part of the market to determine our trading opportunities. We're not going to focus much on this one. Right? We're going to use this one to try and predict what the next possible price movement will be. So now let's dive in deep into a weekly chart, right? So on the weekly chart, I'm gonna determine my playing ground, which is this one. Already I can see that this is still a bearish market. Why am I saying that? It's because by looking at what the price action is telling us, we are making a series of lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and this lower high. And this lower high over here, it gave rise to this last lower low, meaning that we should pay an extra high on this one, on this lower high over here, because anything above it represents what? It represents what? A buy. Because if we break above this low, high, it means that we've broken the what? We've broken this overall bearish structure. This one. If we break above this and come back for a retest, it means that we're now looking for what? For buying opportunities up until this far, right? So now let's dive in deep and see. So I hope you guys do clearly see that we haven't broken yet. This is nothing but a fake out. This was acting as a fake out. We never had a significant break of structure. What is a significant break of structure? If this candle closes significantly above this line. So this candle was acting as a what? As a stop loss hunt per se, because it came back and closed below this lower high, meaning that we haven't broken into the structure. So this is my playground. So now let's dive in deep into the market and see what trading opportunities we might get. And now we're going to pay our attention to this part of the market now. Because the market has showed us that it is still in an overall bearish market, because it failed to break the structure over here. So now let's focus on this part of the market. So now this is no longer my playground. This is my new high. So now I'm gonna go into my daily chart, right? So if I go into my daily chart, this is my new playground. So now I'm gonna put my trend line to try and come up with a nicely formed trend, right? So I'm gonna clone this one and increase the accuracy of my analysis, right? Let me try and put this one so that I can make my analysis clean, right? So yeah, there we have it. I love keeping my charts clean. So let me put this one over here, right? So now let's look at what the price is telling us. So now we are nothing but price action readers. So what does a price action reader do? We try by all means to keep everything simple and straightforward. In this case, the market has been making a series of higher highs and higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows, higher high and higher low, and this higher high, and the market came back for this higher low, right? And after that, the market pushed to the upper side, giving us this last higher high, meaning that we must pay close attention to this lower, or rather this higher low that gave rise to that higher high over there, right? And by looking at what the market is telling you right now, we can clearly see that the market broke the structure over here, right? Meaning that we are now in a confirmed bear market, right? The only time whereby this bear structure will be invalid is by the market crossing above this higher high over here, and creating a new high. That is the only time whereby this bearish setup that you're having over here will be invalid. This setup will be invalid if we break above this and create a new high. If you are still trading below this higher high over here, it means that you are still sellers on the GBP USD. So now let's dive in deep and look for possible entries. So now we've saw that the market is broken the structure, right? So I'm gonna remove this and put it over here. Let me go to a much smaller time frame, right? this is my high, and this is my what? This is my low. You guys are gonna see. This year we are impacting a lot of lives. We are impacting a lot of lives through what? Through these free content that we are delivering here on this channel. So this is my what? These are my trends, right? I'm in this trend, inside this trend, right? So by looking at what the market is printing over here, by nature, we know that after every impulsive move, we have a correction to the what? To the downside, right? This type of a correction represents a what? Represents continuations, meaning that you might be looking for what? For another pushes to the upper side. This is basically nothing but what? But a bullish flag, right? So in this nature, or rather in this case, what happens if the market impulses to the upper side and corrects to the upper side? What happens in this case? In this case, the market is doing nothing but what? But telling you with it now getting ready to what? To reverse. This type of a correction is nothing but what? But a reversal what? Type of a what? Type of a correction. This type of a correction is a what? Is a continuation type of a what? Type of a correction. So in this case, we might expect what? Or rather reversals to the what? To the downside. And again, you're going to take your entries upon a what? Upon a breakage of structure, meaning that you will enter your cells below your what? Below your break of structure, right? So now let's dive in deep and see what the current chart has for us in store. So as we look closely at the Gbpusd, we had a very strong push to the upper side and a correction again to the what? To the upper side, right? So now it means that the market is preparing for what? For very strong reversals, meaning that we might expect very strong pushes to the downside at any time on the what? On the Gbpusd, right? And we're gonna enter ourselves on Gbpusd below this line over here, because below that line will be representing a break of structure, right? And we're gonna make our stop loss as tight as possible, right? Meaning that we're gonna enter our buys or rather ourselves on Gbpusd, and bearing in mind that after this target price over here, we still have another very strong sales that we are having on the what? On the overall direction of the what? Of the Gbpusd, because overall on Gbpusd we are what? We are sellers and making these our target prices, and making these our target prices all the way up to this spot. So guys, this is my Gbpusd, and these are the pairs that I'll be looking at for this week. If you guys enjoyed this video, please drop a thumbs up and leave your comments down below in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends, and most importantly, please click that notification bell so that you guys will receive a notification each and every time we drop or release a new video. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Let's grow this channel. Let's impact a lot of lives. This is FX Coach, your mentor, guys. I wish you a very, very profitable and a productive week. Let's go.